Hello, hello.
Hi there, how are you?
I'm so good. How are you guys?
Very
Good.
well, thank you.
Well, it's great to see you guys looking like yourselves right now.
Yeah,
What did you
thank
guys?
you.
Yeah, what did it feel like looking at your potentially older self? Is it a little weird?
Crazy.
It was great. It was weird to think about the fact that Jim really in the movie really not that different from my current age. Uh, but looking much older, I guess, as a bald head tends to do to people. Although Jason Statham looks pretty good.
Yeah,
You
he
know what I
pulled it
mean?
off.
Yeah. Am I digging myself a hole here, Jay?
Oh,
What do
let's see where this goes. Continue. Yeah, I'm just
Uh,
sitting here wrapped.
I loved it. I loved having a shaved head. I thought it was, it helps you step into character. You just feel different, I felt mature for the first time in my life.
It did the heavy lifting,
Yeah,
certainly.
it kind of
Like
does.
it was the closest to and I mean this in a really good way because but when you go trick-or-treating, if you were, Glenn or me, you were Dracula that night. It wasn't just in between, right? And you just kind of and you just lived there, sort of, and or when you were a kid doing like a school play, and before someone told you what acting is and isn't, and you just put like chalk in your hair to play an old guy, and you just did it, and it was real, and you lived there, kind of, and you were just so it was like it's impossible to kind of figure out who you are and what your way in is when every time you catch yourself in the mirror, you're like, who the fuck is that? Like, what a crazy thing, And as Glenn pointed out, the process itself. So every morning he would get his head fucking shaven in the middle and then put on this crazy suit and his rings and his watch, and I would sit there and the first one is about an hour. It took between 40 minutes and an hour. The longer one, the second wig, was about 2 hours. We got it down to 90 minutes by the end, or just under 90. But that gave you this time to sort of transform and to transport yourself from you didn't have to figure anything out. You just kind of went into this machine that took 2 hours. And then when you came out, you were somebody else,
That's so crazy. Did you get to meet Mike and Jim and talk to them in real life?
Not beforehand. And none of us have still to this day met Mike or Doug. But we did meet Jim at the Toronto premiere.
And did you talk to him after the movie? Did he like it?
You know what? I actually did not end up talking. Well, he'd seen the movie prior to the premiere. So he'd seen it once, and then he was going to watch it again with an audience at the premiere. So when I talked to him, he had seen the movie. We didn't really talk about the movie, though. We talked about other stuff.
He's a very well, number one, he's being a very good sport about this movie. Like if 20 plus years, 30 years from now, someone made a movie about me doing something with people I knew, I would be like, what the fuck is this? Why, and he has been he was like, oh, well, they gotta tell their story. Like, he's been super fucking giving us quite a bit of he's been a really good sport. And then at the premiere, I was amazed at how all he was talking. When I left him and Glenn to chat, but when I left them, he was just talking about this old mill, I think him and his wife had restored, and he he was really quite a charming, disarming, lovely man with a pretty nice sense of humor about himself, far more of a sense of humor about himself than I have about myself.
Did either of you have a BlackBerry?
Oh yeah. Till 2 years ago, I had mine.
No.
Yeah,
I did not.
You did? No, you did not. You had it 2 years ago?
Oh yeah, he did. He did.
Glenn never had one.
I was not. I was not. That was not my thing. I did not want one.
No, you didn't want to. No, they were cool. They were fun.
They were cool.
That's what he hated about it.
That's yeah, right.
Well, yeah, I think what everybody else loved about it is exactly what I hated about it, which is being available at all times. I just didn't want that.
That's true.
Still
And we still, yeah, I was gonna say it's still a thing everywhere. Well, thank you guys so much for your time. I gotta let you know I'm big fans of you both, but Jay, I absolutely love Random Acts of Violence. It's like
Oh, fuck yeah.
one of my favorite movies. I watch it all the time. I love it.
Oh my God! Thank you so much.
Of course.
That's the nicest thing to. We should. You should start with that. No,
I
that's
know, I'm so sorry.
no, that's the nice. That's the nicest. Thank you. You made my day. I really
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Oh, good. Of course. Yeah, no, seriously, it's so fun and gory and comic booky, and I just love it so much.
Fucking right. Thank you. Trying to get the next one going.
Yes, please do. Oh, yes, that would be amazing.
There's a script. It's not for lack of trying. So yeah.
Okay, well, fingers crossed.
Thank
Let me
you.
know who I have to write a letter to. I'll do it.
Done and done. Thank you for the kind words. I really
Awesome.
appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for your time.
Thank you, Tessa.